Service could return to Noojee for the first time in almost 60 years if a project to bring the township to its former 20th century glory goes all the way. The town's historical society has so far secured funds to replicate the original 1919 railway station.
On a vacant parcel of Crown land, the community will bring a bygone era back to life. The 1919 railway station during the heyday of the Noojee timber industry.
There were 6 trains a day going out of this area with timber to go to Melbourne, to go overseas and all that sort of stuff.
The railway siding was twice destroyed by bushfire and rebuilt, but a bridge fire in the 50s was the nail in the rail service's coffin.
It was not feasible to run the rail line anymore because trucks had taken over by then.
After a 7-year campaign, the Historical Society has secured more than $200,000 from the state government for stage 1 of the Heritage Centre project.
There's going to be jobs in the area. The businesses in town will benefit from it, obviously, and at the same time probably new businesses will start up, and it'll have a bright future for Noojee.
The long-term goal is to develop around 12 hectares of former railway land into a hub for the whole community.
There's going to be a cultural centre, early settlers camp. There'll be a replica of the original Cowrie sawmill.
The group hopes to take the project even further. As part of stage 1, an historic J550 locomotive will be relocated to the site from Warragul. The Historical Society hopes to restore the train and eventually run a service to the town's iconic trestle bridge for tourists. Stephanie Charalambus, Win News.
As the average age of Historical Society members continues to rise, one Gippsland group is opting for a fresh perspective. Noojee has recruited 21-year-old Emily Harvey, believed to be the youngest Historical Society secretary in the state.
While most of her peers are looking into their future, Emily Harvey is peering deep into the past.
I've always loved history, and this area has a really rich history, especially with the timber industry, which is very interesting.
The 21-year-old was introduced to Noojee's history after moving to the West Gippsland Mountain Township with her family 3 years ago. Historical Society founder Will Langor was on a mission to recruit members. He describes Emily as the ultimate gain for any historical society.
Couldn't believe it, and I thought I'll be one of those short-term sort of things.
Emily became secretary a year ago, kicking off a town trend.
We've actually got other younger members as well now in the group, which is really good, and that's our future for history.
She's helped the Historical Society move into the digital age with the development of a website and social media pages.
Us old blokes, we're not much good at these high-tech latest stuff.
It's taught me so much and I've learnt so much that, it's invaluable. I can't say I'd change anything.
Stephanie Charalambus, Win News.
The railway station is on track with stage 1 of the $300,000 project well underway. It's set to restore the iconic site to its early 1900s glory.
A snapshot in time shows the railway station in its heyday. Almost a century later, work is well underway to bring a former town icon back to life.
What you'll see is as close as we practically can rebuild it to what it was originally.
A driver of the town's booming timber industry in the early 1900s, the station was destroyed by fire in the 50s and hasn't seen a train service since. The historic site's future was looking grim until the Noojee District Historical Society intervened.
If we don't take interest in these things to preserve the story, what happened here, our predecessors, it's all being lost.
Only last year, the land was secured to make way for stage 1 of a restoration that's set to revitalise the township of Noojee.
There'll be a cultural centre, which will be Indigenous art, all that sort of stuff. There'll be a early settlers camp, which will incorporate career paths and stuff for the school.
It took the Historical Society 7 years of campaigning before securing more than $200,000 from the state government to go ahead with the project.
It was a pretty long process, but we've learned a lot since then, and now it's just moving on at a really fast rate.
So quickly, the Historical Society hopes to have the station completed by November, bringing it closer to its ultimate goal.
We one day hope to get the J550 going and run a going line to the Trestle Bridge and back.
Alexandria Zazimarkis, Win News.
The historic Noojee railway station is one step closer to returning to its former glory days of the 1900s, with work continuing to restore the iconic site. The $300,000 project began last year when land was secured for the site. Construction on the station got underway around 2 months ago. With bricks and a roof already in place, stage one of the project is nearing completion. Headed by the Noojee and District Historical Society, it aims to preserve the history of the town, which was once a key driver in the region's timber industry. Hundreds celebrate the opening of the historic Noojee railway station. Noojee came alive at the weekend when it officially opened its doors to a major historical restoration project. Hundreds turned out for the highly anticipated opening of the town's railway station.
William Langor envisaged the day his beloved Noojee would return to its former 1900s glory. The Noojee and District Historical Society member embarked on an 8-year restoration project. This weekend, years of hard work came to fruition.
It's a dream come true, you know, and it's just such a good feeling.
The station was central to the timber mill transport industry. While its replica won't serve the same purpose, its aim is to turn the town into a bustling hub of activity. But some would argue that's already happened.
Already since we've been, the building's been up, I would consider probably 30-40% of the sales at the local businesses already increased.
While stage one of the restoration project is complete, there's still a long way to go to transform the entire town.
There'll be 12 bushy huts where the community kids and kids from Melbourne can experience the old-fashioned days and light a campfire and all that. There's a 100-year-old sawmill going in and a cultural centre.
But the icing on the cake is still a while away for the society. It hopes to have a service running along the railway to and from the historic Trestle Bridge. Alexandria Zazimarkis, Win News.